As I'm sure we'll have some more folks filter in, but it's 1 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Teresa, if you'd start the recording, that would be great. Welcome everyone to Small Scale Creativity for Any Lesson with Tom Mullaney. My name is Delia DeCourcy, and I am going to be one of your hosts and moderator today. And I'm going to be very present in the chat. So if you have anything that you need help with technically, or you need a link, or you've got a question, please let me know. And we also encourage you to back channel in the chat throughout the session, share ideas. We are also going to be using a resource document where people can crowdsource and access links, and I will put that in the chat right now for you, and I would encourage you to visit it. This is the Learning for All conference that is sponsored by the Friday Institute at North Carolina State University. It's the first year of the conference, and it has been an amazing turnout so far. We are really lucky today to have Tom Mullaney presenting for us. Tom, I have worked with him, and he is an incredibly innovative educator. He is currently the digital learning facilitator at Northwood High School in Chatham County, North Carolina. But in a previous life, he taught special education and social studies, and he has been an instructional technology coach in New York, Pennsylvania, California, and here in North Carolina. He is a Google for EDU certified innovator and trainer, and you are in for a treat over the next 45 minutes. So I will turn things over to Tom.
Thank you, Delia. Thank you for that really warm introduction. Much appreciated. And thank you to everyone from Chicago to North Carolina to Michigan to Egypt. I am really flattered and honored that you all took time to learn together today. All right, let's talk about what we're going to do, and let's talk about it from the Triple E framework. We're talking about small scale creativity for any lesson. I will give more of a definition, but just to frame our discussion, engaging students in learning goals, the idea of what we're going to work on today, increasing students' desire to start the learning and creation process, authentic, deep engagement with the prompts you give them. And when you do creativity, it increases time on task, enhancing learning goals, allowing students to develop and showcase a more sophisticated understanding of content and adding value to the teaching and learning. And lastly, our learning goals, allowing for creation beyond the school day and supporting development of source skills. So Triple E, engage, enhance, and extend your students and their learning goals. All right, so now Delia has already put the link to the Google Doc. We're going to share some ideas and share what we create during this session in this Google Doc right here. There's a bit.ly for it right there. So if you just want to type that bit.ly in a new tab, and that, by the way, has a link to the slide deck as well. Or if you just want to go to the link that Delia dropped in the chat, either way, that will give you edit rights to this Google Doc. All right, our agenda. So first, we're going to talk briefly about tech and equity. Then we're going to talk about what this is and what this isn't. So what do I mean by small scale? We'll talk about audio, video, and I will be honest, those will be kind of a shorter piece of the presentation. Then we'll get into drawing, and don't worry, we'll do drawing in a way that it's with technology, but accessible really to any student with a device. And lastly, one specific website that it's not got a lot of publicity, but it's a really good way to do quick, short bite creativity. All right, so technology and equity. Anytime we talk about technology and using it with students, we have to think about implications for equity. Technology is an accelerant. So technology does not, by itself make anything good or great. It can make it better or worse. It makes equitable teaching more inclusive, and it makes oppressive teaching even worse. And so really, anytime you use technology with students, you want to think, is this opening opportunities for students, or is it doing something that makes things worse for students? All right, what this is and what this isn't. So one lesson creativity, ideas for inside a single lesson, not long-term projects. And so when we talk about long-term projects, I often think about in the classroom. So I was in the classroom for 12 years in special education and then social studies, And what would stop me from using creativity would be the idea that, okay, this has to be a long-term project for my students. And so there's the project management component. Big rubrics. That was always a big challenge for me, writing every criterion of every rubric and every category. Giving effective feedback when you have students working on something bigger and long term. When and how do you give effective feedback? And so so if you want to take this slide right here and consider this, I want to give my students a big challenge to make something big that we publish to the world. This slide has some great apps for that. I know we have a music teacher here today. And so music teacher, if you don't know Soundtrap, please check out Soundtrap. It is amazing, right? I wouldn't suggest it for one lesson creativity though. I would suggest it for a bigger thing because students can really create with that. So these are great ideas if you have students creating something that they would publish to the world. What we're talking about today is anything that's web-based. So all of this stuff is web-based. If you have a web browser, you'll be able to take advantage of it. Students use creativity inside a lesson. So today I'm teaching The Era of Good Feelings, a former US history teacher. And bam, inside that lesson, I can use some creativity. Creativity for learning and to demonstrate learning. And it's easy to assess. So did the student show what they learned via their creativity? Yes, no, and we go on, right? So it's easy to assess. All right, we're gonna start with audio. Audio is great. We live in a day and age of podcasts, and podcasts can be everything from long, big project creativity, long episodes, deep dives, to very, very short responses. So online voice recorder, that's my first one that I really love. It's the one that I really started with with audio. That one, because it's just so quick and easy. But then I found another, and I'm going to demo this one in 1 minute. And it's this, Vocaroo. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of Vocaroo, but let me show you why I love Vocaroo so much. So I'm just going to hit escape. And I have Vocaroo in another tablet. So let me excuse me. And I'll just record something. This is me recording my voice. I only had to press one button and I immediately started recording. I'll hit stop. Now I've hit stop. I can listen to that. I've heard the sound of my own voice. I'm not a big fan of it. I thank you for enduring it today. And so I'm not going to hit the play button. I could, but what's more important than that play button is this button right here, save and share. And if I do that, it actually generates a URL and gives me a copy button. So if you want your students to record audio and quickly share it back with you or classmates, so think about if you use Canvas, if you use Classroom, how there's all these opportunities for students to input these things, and bam, right away in those comments, they can just copy and paste that URL and share it with you or their classmates. Very quick. You wouldn't want to have students or yourself say like student last names in it or anything like that. But beyond that, Vocaroo for audio, really, really quick. All right, let's quickly touch on video and then I'm going to ask for some ideas. So video, I like to say YouTubing is cool, but not necessary. Trust me, there's a big industry of people being creative and using YouTube as their career. It's really, really great stuff. But we don't have to do that. We can have a quick assessment by video. And obviously Flipgrid is the one that I think most people would use. I would love to hear your ideas for how you use Flipgrid with your classrooms. And then the other one that's really very useful is Screencastify, because Screencastify brings in the element of I can record my screen. I can also record myself. I can record my webcam. And again, just like Vocaroo, it gives you that Google Drive sharing link. So what you do, what you've created, you can share immediately with fellow students or the teacher can share with students. Okay, with that, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to please share. Please go to the Google Doc, which I've linked here, but Delia higher up in the chat has linked it. Please share your ideas on using audio and video for quick student creativity in the Google Doc. I know some people have actually put some stuff in the chat. That's great. If you could share that in the Google Doc as well. And give me a second, I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock with our Google Chrome timer. I love that you just search for it. I'm going to give everyone 3 minutes to do that. I'll put the doc on the screen and we will go from there.
Where it says tooling, you want to go down below to the crowdsourcing. Can you scroll down, Tom, and show people the crowdsourced ideas? So you're going to put your name and your email address, and then your suggested tool, and then how you use it with students so they can display their learning. So if you post it up above, if you could just move your suggestions down, that would be fantastic. Give us a little more info.
I'm unmuted, right, Delia? Yes, okay. All right, that's 3 minutes. I don't know if any of you heard that. I love the Chrome. You know, you just search your timer for 3 minutes or whatever time you need, and it does it. I will say the sound at the end can be a little bit annoying, especially if you have any students who are triggered by high. You know, I don't know how I would describe that, but other than that, it's really cool. All right, I'm loving some of the ideas I'm seeing here. Seesaw and GoSynth. GoSynth is a lovely tool for podcast creation. And I love, by the way, that now we're starting to get these URL previews in Google Docs. That's a really nice little tool to make it a little bit more interactive. Oh, QR codes in Flipgrid, yes. I see, Elena, you're definitely using Vocaroo and Flipgrid. And so I would say, please feel free to keep typing in this as we go. The next thing will be a drawing. And I know many of you may not be using touchscreens or, you know, that's fine. Don't worry. You'll be able to draw. I promise you. Let's get to that. All right. So back into our presentation. So first we're going to talk about drawing. Okay. Drawing is essential for learning. And why do I say that? Yes, I oftentimes just speak kind of from the hip, but in this case, I have the research behind me. There is so much research, and a lot of it's come out recently. And if you care to peruse those links, go right ahead, about drawing being very, very effective for learning. All right, so the website we're going to take a look at is Autodraw. It's actually an AI experiment from Google. So it's from Google. It's not part of G Suite, and I'll get into kind of some of the unique particulars of Autodraw. So no sign-in necessary. Actually, there is no sign-in. You can't sign in. And if you go to any tablet right now that's not signed into any Google account, you go to autodraw.com, it'll still come up. If you open an incognito tab, Autodraw will come up. So there is no sign-in whatsoever, and that's great for any students who struggle with signing in. It does not save because you have no login, so it doesn't save to your Google account like something you do in Google Drive does, but you can download as you work on things. It has a predictive drawing tool, which is the best part of it, freehand and other text tools. So before I task you with drawing and sharing, I want to show you Autodraw. So this is it. It's autodraw.com. And I got to stretch my canvas out a little bit. Okay. And the first tool that you will have is this. And I am not using a touchscreen. This is my mouse right now. And let's say I want to draw, let's try, planet Earth, right? Maybe I'm talking about layers of the atmosphere, or I'm talking about global warming, climate change. So I draw a circle. And then let's try to draw North America. And I'll put like Russia over there. There's Alaska. And then I'll do South America. Oh boy, that came out pretty terribly. But look at the very first suggestion up here. It thinks I want to draw planet Earth. And now I have planet Earth with North and South America. Now I could also say, oh, we wanted more of Asia and the Pacific Ocean, or we wanted Africa and Europe, or meridians, or a donut with a bite out of it, or someone playing soccer. It could be anything at all you want, right? And so then, now I can color things in too. So let's say I change my color. Let's change it to say like a red here, make a fill. So that's red. And let's say I make South America green, and then go back to paint bucket. I also have a freehand, so I can draw some arrows, and I have text, so I can type something. And then I have a move tool, so I can move that and just put that there. Oh, look at me drawing so nicely. There's also a shape tool if I want. That's a circle, square, and triangle. Maybe not the greatest shape tool you've ever seen, but it's pretty cool. That we'll say that's the moon. That's not exactly right, but okay. Now, I've made this masterpiece. I mean, this thing is amazing, right? And now I want to share this with my teacher. So I go to the 3-line menu, and I go to share. For our purposes today, we're going to share. Preparing to share. And I click copy link, and I can copy link. You could put on Twitter right now, if you're so inclined, if you make something in Autodraw that's just that amazing, like this. I mean, I really should tweet this out. It's beautiful. But you can share that right away. So think about how your kids could draw right inside a lesson without a touchscreen. Remember, this was all working without a touchscreen. Now, it'd be a lot more fun with a touchscreen, maybe, tactile, whatever. But they can do that. Now, your next task. So I'm going to ask you to all go into Autodraw and share something. Now, the way you'll share it is by going to our Google Doc. And down here where it says Autodraw, please put your name. If you really want to be anonymous, whatever you're comfortable with. Some of the great works of art are anonymous. And then share that Autodraw URL. I really want to see what you all come up with. And we can go from there. So I'll give you 3 minutes, and we'll go and we'll see how that goes. And then I'm going to give you some other suggestions for drawing digitally that kind of don't have some of the disadvantage of Autodraw, is that, it doesn't save or whatever. But this is a great way to get your kids drawing for learning. So let's do the 3-minute timer again. And good luck. I look forward to seeing what you all produce. I'm leaving my beautiful drawing on the screen for inspiration. Okay, I'm just going to show you all. So let's say you're drawing, and I know that you're drawing. And let's say here, I'm just going to type moon just to kind of make that clear, although I think that's pretty clear. And let's say now I really want to share this updated link, right? So let's go to the 3-line, I always call it the veggie burger menu. That tells you a little something about me. Click the 3-line veggie burger menu, click share. And then click copy link. I'm hoping that, and then you would put that URL right there. Oh, something happened. Uh-oh, something happened. Let me just do that one more time. Share. There it is. Then I'd hit copy link. And by the way, I'm seeing 2 people saying they no longer have access to the Google Doc. And now we're up to 3 people. Would something have changed in the Google Doc? Anyone with the link and edit? Well, I'm going to put that. Sorry, everybody. Oh, let me put that to everyone. I don't know why the Google Doc wouldn't be working.
My only thought was that maybe we had too many people in it, but it looked like it
kicked everybody out. There we have you and an anonymous Fox. But yeah, you all put your flip grids in there, and then we didn't get any auto draw. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try this one more time. Anyone with the link and edit should be. I made a request for access and it's denied. So sorry about this. As we're bearing with. Oh, and all right. So thank you for Pinky. Thank you for the workaround. Mountain bike drawing. Sorry, I'm putting you on blast, Pinky, but you're good. Okay. All right, that is not bad, Pinky. And what I would say is just remember this tool right here is the auto draw. So you probably could draw a bike with that. I'm gonna try it real quick. Oh, yeah, there we go. So that would be, and if you notice, it kind of has some different options. And look at that. Oh, that's a little bit more than a bike. So many great things you can do with that. And thank you for sharing. Someone put they downloaded the PNG. Okay. All right. All right. Well, sorry about this Google Doc situation. I don't know. I might just close it and then control.
And if people want to, feel free to share their link in the chat to their auto draw, that would be great. That's another good option.
We definitely have a handful of people who have done that. I'm reopening this just to see if that maybe makes it a little bit better. Sorry about that. I guess, even in the future, nothing works. All right. With that, yeah, please feel free to share those in there, and we'll see about this Google Docs situation. I'm going to continue on because I don't want to spend our time wrestling with Google Docs, which I'm so surprised. Oh, well. All right. So, and I just want to give you some ideas about what students can draw. So this is great technology, right? This is so cool that you can do that, this AI stuff. But why? What would we have them draw? So I'm just going to throw out some ideas. So a part of the water cycle, one of my favorite science concepts, right? The Schlieffen plan in World War I. Pat yourself on the back if you know what that is. You remembered your high school history. Oh, and I'm seeing a self-portrait. Love that. The commutative property of multiplication. Have your kids draw that. The slope of a line. Exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution in a novel. Music notes. So you know, we have a music teacher, but for music teachers for sure, for those of you who coach music teachers. All right, I want to give you two other options real quick. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on these because I want to make sure we have time to play with what we have left. But Chrome Canvas is an awesome web-based drawing tool, and it's actually from Google. It's got a very, very weird URL called canvas.apps.chrome, but it is a really nice drawing tool. It's a freehand drawing tool. It saves to your Google account, so whenever you go to that website, you'll see what you've drawn in the past, and you can name your drawings, which is pretty cool. It gives you layers and transparent backgrounds, so it actually is a little bit like the Adobe apps that are mobile and a little less easy to access if you just have, you know, Chromebooks or laptops. And one more is just Jamboard, because that's Google's freeform brainstorming and collaboration act. So let me say that again. Collaboration and brainstorming app. It has some sticky notes, so some people kind of use it as a Padlet replacement, not exactly. And I say replacement, Padlet never went away, but the free, you know, got a lot more freemium. A more mobile, robust mobile app, although the web-based app at jamboard.google.com is pretty good too. It saves to your Google Drive, so that's really nice. That's a really big advantage of using Jamboard. And it actually has perfect classroom integration, meaning you have a Jam, you can make a copy for each student, or students can edit. So you can do that. If you're confused about Google Jamboard, it's the one app that causes a lot of confusion because there's an actual physical Jamboard they're happy to sell you. I have a blog post that explains all that. Okay, just some more ideas for drawing before we go on to our next thing. So boundaries of singles versus doubles in tennis, or really any issue where there's ever been a boundary issue in world or American history, right? Boundaries. Illustrate a vocabulary term or a foreign language term. Draw a diagram. Dance choreography. Storyboard a scene from a novel or play. Draw a system of the body, right? Draw a recipe. So many different things. All right. With that, I'm going to share one last website that I really, really like. It is called Remixer. So Remixer is this website where there's many different things students can do, and so much of it is just quick and creative and fun. So the first one is Postcards. And so here is just an animated GIF of some postcards I made for French Revolution, right? I took images off, you know, these are all from Wikimedia. They're all, you know, labeled for reuse. And it limits what you can actually type, right? You can't type a whole long message. You can only type a little bit of something, and it has this nice, like, handwritten font. And you and your students could do a little role play, you know, take this picture and write a postcard. Who's it from? Who is it to? Right? So that we vow to write a constitution that would be like from the National Assembly to the people of France, right? Something like that. Let's just go there real quick to show you how it works. So this is the actual website for the postcards. And what you do is you just go right there, and you'll actually see my French Revolution ones right there. But here, you just upload any image that you have. And so I'm not sure. Here, I'll just for fun. This is from the other day when we closed early. And here I can kind of zoom in on that or turn it, right? And here I would say, we're dismissing early. What I really like about this is it forces students to be succinct and concise. And that is a wonderful skill for students to get. If you notice, like here, I'll give you an example. Here, this one's a really good one that I like that I did. So this is the Estates General, French Rev, welcome third estate, enjoy your one vote. It shows the kids, hey, these people were invited to this thing and they only had one vote, even though they were most of France, right? So with this tool, I'm going to ask you now. So let's go back to the Google Doc.
Tom, I actually created a new link for the Google Doc. I made a copy of it, so people can access that, and they can actually get in there now, and you can too. And they can also share their remixer, their postcard. Right.
So yeah. So thank you, Delia. I appreciate your taking care of that. And I don't know what happened, but
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. The link to Remixer to create a postcard is right there, right where it says Remixer, share your postcard. So again, oh, I didn't demo that. Sorry. Let me demo that real quick. So I made one, but how do we share it? So at the bottom of Remixer, at the bottom right, just got to turn, there is a button that says save and share. And what you can do is you can get the link right here, so you don't have to sign in, and bam, copy, and then paste that into, let me get to the right, oh, there you all are, thank you. There, you would hit paste, and my formatting is pretty terrible, but you get the point. Tom, okay. Let's all take 5 minutes. I'm going to give you 5 minutes for this one because you have to find a picture that you want to use and then upload it in there. But I will give you all 5 minutes and hit start. And I'll pay attention to the chat and the classroom and the Google Doc, and we'll go from there. And hey, Jane, if you don't mind, I'm just going to move what you've just pasted into the Autodraw section. I was thinking that that might be a little quick for Remixer. You may have gone ahead, and there it is. Okay. Just remember, when you're done, save and share. And I'm going to make that.
So Tom, it looks like we have a couple questions in the chat about sharing. Can you demo sharing that again real quick?
Okay, thank you. So I am going to be in here, okay? I've worked on what I want to work on. I've typed what I want to type. At the bottom right, there is a save and share button. It looks like the old Instagram logo right there. I hit save and share. And looks like I have to publish it first. So let's publish. And then once I do that, I click on link and use this to share on other networks. And that's how we do that. So Jane, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so Lauren, I see you have a question. No, I am not signed in at all. Again, I'll just do that one more time. Save and share. And I already published this, so it will ask you to publish, but then you just hit link and then boom, and copy. Oh, you shouldn't have to sign in. Let me just sign out real quick. And I'm gonna hit refresh. I was signed in, sorry about that. And let me just make a very quick change. So I just made that really, really off center. I hit save and share. Oh, sorry about that. So, all right, to publish, you do have to sign in with Google, but you can always just download it. I just saw somebody do that. They downloaded the PNG and just put it in the cell in the Google Doc. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. If you want to do the link, then do sign in with Google or Twitter, I guess, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that's our 5-minute timer. Let's see how we're doing in the Google Doc. And Jane, I think you may be right. Oh, that's actually, that I think is just the link to the remixer page, not the actual thing, I don't think. Kaylin, very nice. Need more coffee, very nice. Jane, you probably just want to download the image and just insert as image right here. Let's take a look at this one here. I recently tried to give up coffee, so we're gonna see. Reading days are the best days. Look at that, such a positive message. Thank you, Myra. That's another thing you can do. I appreciate you saying that, Myra. That's very kind. And Elena shared this one, which is a really nice one where it's basically sharing a postcard of her students, I'm assuming, at their live aquarium. Okay. All right, so going into the aquarium business with the students, love it. Okay. Yes, so do I. But green tea is getting me by so far. All right, so this one here is another remix that they do. I'm actually going to show you that in a second, actually, or other ideas on the website. So we have, oh, all right, we're actually doing great on time to have some questions and let people play around a little bit. I just want to show you all some other things you can do on Remixer. So go back to this postcards real quick. Present. So you can also do trading cards. I'll kind of show you that, and I'll show you what it is going to wind up looking like if you do trading cards. So here are some trading cards I made for French Revolution. Again, same concept. You're uploading an image. You're putting in you're very limited in the text that you write. And to me, I think this is a great thing for students because oftentimes when they put stuff, when they create, say, flashcards or Quizlet decks or whatever, they can go on a little too much so that the definition doesn't become very usable. And so if you force them, hey, what are the absolute essential things to remember about this person? That really works. One thing I'm going to say about that. So they call their trading card creator top trumps. Now, you've probably heard of trump cards. The word trump in this country has a very different connotation than a playing deck of cards, right? And so one of the things you can do about that is, so you see this one, they have Apollo Fier right here. If I go into colors and I take this top trumps and I'd say I make it black, it kind of disappears against the background. And also notice the nice color, customizable. I can make that any hex code I want. But yeah, so that's just one thing to keep in mind. If the word Trump is going to break your students into a big, long debate about politics, then maybe this tool is not for you. But if you just, tell your students that right up, I think it should work okay. So that's the trading card one. The one I really like, I think, for, just quickly and concisely creating a trading card for anything, a definition, anything that has a photograph, right? Okay, let's keep going here. Element squares, love this one. Let me show you how I embedded the French Revolution elements I made right here. So again, 3 estates, real quick. Again, you can change the colors. So I changed the colors to match kind of the French Revolution, red and blue. And so quick. And by embedding them on a Google site, I'm making it a little bit more than single lesson creativity, right? Google Sites would have been one of those good apps for those like bigger projects and things to publish to the world. But this is just, Google Sites just made sense as a platform to kind of document the thing, what I created with them. So I'm adding a little context with sentence and whatnot. But again, keeping it so that we just make it an element square, bam. I did 2 for bread because there's a lot to learn about bread in the French Revolution. The French Revolution was definitely pre-Atkins diet for sure. All right, one last one that you can do. Hold on. So one last one is timelines. You can create timelines in there. So let me just show you this, and they call it storylines. And the way it works is just you basically are constantly, you can just add your image, zoom in, zoom out on your image, and then change the text. So say 4 ideas from this session, and you can make the colors be whatever you want them to be. Gives kids a little bit of creativity, gives them, to me, with the colors, that gives them that little bit of razzmatazz, or whatever, pizzazz, whatever you want to call it, to give a little sizzle to go with the tofu, and you go from there. All right, now that we have that all done, and I see another one's been shared to the chat. I am essentially at the end of my presentation here. We have a couple of minutes for questions and for, and that's the bit.ly, by the way, for this slide deck. That's me on Twitter at Tommy Mullaney. My email is mrmullaney@gmail.com. That's my personal. That's where I like to get email. But are there any questions that you can just put in the chat? And we can talk more. Just if anyone has any questions about any of these or any ideas they want to share about this. And I kind of want to see some of what y'all have been creating while we go through that as well. Oh, I like that. Good morning. That's a nice one. Oh, okay. Ideas for math integration, fractions and decimals. Good. And hold on, it makes me want to just reply to you, Anne. Well, just to give you a quick overview, when you talk about math with me, that's a nice one. I really like that picture. Wow. I'm guessing the Pacific Northwest. So one of the apps we talked about today, Jamboard, actually has graph paper as a background. So the implication of that is that you can have collaborative infinite graph paper. So that's pretty cool. Be careful with it, because 5 people on the same piece of graph paper can be a little unwieldy. So maybe have 2 students collaborate and then build out from there. To me, with Autodraw, and also I'd say with Jamboard too a little bit, because in Jamboard you have your sticky notes, so you have those kind of shapes built in. In Autodraw you have the 3 shapes. You have circles, triangles, and rectangles. Let me just go back to Autodraw real quick. So let's get out of there, and I can start over. So I start over, and if I go to my shapes, so I have the 3 here, but so let's just say I go to my circle, and I made that way too big, and I move said circle. Now with my freehand tool, not the Autodraw tool, I can start cutting this up and doing some stuff as far as fractions. Will it let me fill in? Give me 1 second. Oh, no, it's going to still make that. I don't want to do that. It's going to make me do that. By the way, when it comes to drawing digitally, one of the things I love about drawing digitally is the perfect undo button. You don't have that in an analog, but you can do some stuff right there. Oh, and trading cards. Yes, you could. Oh, I like that. Give them some trading cards. And what's 4/8 and what goes with what. You could do the same thing in Jamboard because you'd have the post-it notes to do to move around to all the equivalent ones. Okay, let's see here. Thank you all for crowdsourcing some great ideas there, by the way. Any other questions before we wrap up? And I know Teresa at the Friday Institute has some stuff. Yes, by the way, thank you, Delia. I mean, Delia, any tool that allows for any kind of conversation, so whether that be Classroom, Canvas, whether it be Verso, one of my favorites for student discussion, anytime you can generate a sharing URL, your kids can share with each other real quick. So that's always a win. Those sharing URLs are just like so vital. Yeah. You're very welcome, Safa.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom. That was an amazing presentation. And my name is Teresa Gibson. I am here just for a quick wrap up and to let you know some of the logistics about providing feedback to Tom. So Tom, if you will stop sharing your screen, I will jump in.
I'm going to stop sharing right now.
Thank you. And I am just going to jump in and give you all the links to where you can go to provide some feedback directly to Tom. So all of our presenters have a unique feedback link. And so if you go back to the agenda, that Learn for All Go link that we have there, you'll find a link in Tom's little box that is specifically for him. It should say provide feedback to Tom. And so that feedback will be shared directly with Tom. And so you feel free to jump in there and tell him what your takeaways were and anything else you want him to know. You can also use that same link. We are trying to put everything on the agenda. I have Tom's resource doc link there for you already. So if you need to come back to find that, hopefully you've already got the Learn for All agenda bookmarked. Those resources will stay there for you. And then if you'd like to stay connected with our team at the Friday Institute, you can go ahead and follow that Go link, which is both here and it's scrolled all the way down to the bottom of the agenda. I have it linked there for you too. So as far as links to grab, it is really just that Go link with the Learn for All 2020 conference. At the end of the conference, we will also send out a link to all participants that allows them to provide overarching conference feedback and to apply for certificates for professional learning hours. And with that, we hope that you will look at that agenda, give Tom some feedback, and join us for our next session. Thank you all so much.